Right, so let's talk about public safety now. That is another big issue in this city. Mr. McDuffie, we know that you helped establish the Office of Racial Equity. That same office, in its racial equity impact assessment on juvenile curfews, concluded in part, reliance on increased police surveillance to enforce juvenile curfews will exacerbate racial inequity for Black district youth. Do you support those findings? And if so, how do you pair that with your support for juvenile curfews?
Thank you for lifting up one of the transformational bills that I actually authored and got passed through the council. The Racial Equity Achieves Results Act established a racial equity lens on the work that the council does. When it comes to juvenile curfews, doing nothing is not an option. I would vote to extend the curfew as a temporary means to make sure we're stopping the hemorrhaging. Doing nothing allows hundreds of kids to descend on areas like the Navy Yard where they risk their own safety and they put others at risk as well. We've already heard the stories about kids coming down there with guns and arrests being made, shots being fired. I'm not going to wait for a tragedy to happen in the Navy Yard or the Wharf or U Street or anywhere else. I'm going to make sure that we extend the curfew, but I'm also going to put in place a youth engagement strategy as mayor so we have interagency coordination both with MPD, DYRS, Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services, as well as DPR, DOES, so that we can engage these young folks around work and proactively make sure that they have the services and programs they need in their communities.
Thank you. Ms. Lewis-George, you do not support curfews, so what is the alternative?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And I want to make clear that this is why showing up and being on the ground matters. Because when I showed up to Navy Yard Station and I saw young people as young as 7 years old going up the escalator, and at the top of those escalators were armed individuals with military individuals with guns, and that's what our young people were seeing coming up the escalator. And they were enforcing what we have put in place in this curfew. And so, yes, I voted for the curfew tool when we weren't federally occupied. But as an executive, you got to choose when to use the tools you have. And to me, right now, using these tools, when we have ICE in our city, when we have federal law enforcement troops in our city, when we have federal agents from different agencies who don't have oversight from the district government, who are not trained in de-escalation, by giving them this opportunity, we are creating a very real risk of harm and to our Black youth in this city and to all of our families in this city. So for me, we don't use that tool. We use the tools we know work, like after-school programming, like DPR, extended hours. Those are the things that work.